Let me tell you a secret. When I was a kid, I went to writer's camp. Now, you've never been or you don't know what that is. Writer's camp is basically a sleepaway camp for young nerds who want to write fantasy novels and science fiction. And it's awesome. You went away, we slept there for like 2 or 3 nights. You did activities and hiking, and you did workshops on writing, and it was so good. And I used to write all the time. When I was a kid, my dream was to grow up to be a fantasy novelist. I used to love writing. I would get up, think about writing. One time I remember, it was Sunday, I was in my early 20s, and I got up, I ate breakfast, I sat down to finish the last few chapters of a novel I was working on, and the next thing I knew, it was about dinner time. And the whole day had just melted away. It was the greatest sense of flow and focus I've ever experienced. And I really, really missed that feeling. And it's been a long time since I felt that level of calm focus. And it's hard to know if that is just part of growing up, that your life gets busier and it's hard to just sit down and write a fantasy novel all day, or if something has changed. And I'm starting to think, sure, it's a bit of both, but there's a large part of we changed what it means to be human, to have the ability to focus, and just sit down and do things that we really are passionate about. There's a couple of things. One, there was a recent study in 2025 by Microsoft that found that the average number of interruptions for an office worker out of 31,000 different people around the world in this study was more than 250 times a day. That's a problem because a UC Irvine study found that every interruption at work takes about 23 minutes to get back to what you're doing. And I would wager it's not just at work this is happening, it's happening all the time. Notifications, ping, Slack rattles, emails, calls, spam texts, it all distracts from the time, the very precious and limited time that we have to do things that really matter to us. I think it's the second reason that I find it a lot harder to focus, to sit down and to write something. I'm just reading less. The amount of reading has actually decreased around the world, despite the fact that sales has increased, largely because people want to buy books, but they never actually finish them. And there's a big problem with the lack of reading. If you just skim, if you just get things summarized for you, you're not training your part of the brain, your language center, to process language. As a result, that brain muscle, let's call it, isn't as strong. And that's a real concern to me. As I'm approaching my 40s, I'm no longer as good at writing, speaking, and communicating as I was in my 20s, simply because I've chosen to spend my time doing something else. And one of the ways I'm going to try and change that by limiting the notifications I get from my phone, the amount of ways people can contact me, and investing more time, carving out more time wherever I can find it to just sit and read. And if doing that, I get one of two outcomes, or maybe both. I actually start writing again, and at the very least, maybe I just get some time that is essentially forced meditation, engineered calm by reading.